going live on YouTube. Now I'll give the little bitch a treat here in just a sec. I love Rue to death, but I do hate whenever she gets like this, where she thinks that I am not moving fast enough to give her a treat. She just stands off to the side, just quietly crying. It's like, please, don't do this shit. Don't. Rue, right there, on your bed. Okay. Get the camera pointed back to where it goes. Go. Have that. And grab my little water container. Probably should rinse this thing out. I'll do that real quick. This, and not gonna use the wet palette today. I don't think I will. Not for right now, at least. Did I not use this browser last time? Let's use this one. Yeah, this has to be it. Okay. This. Making sure that my laptop, I can actually see what I'm doing over here. Yes, looks like a... Oh. Okay. I've got that up so I can actually see. So now, do some painting. Good bronze. Put some of that there. Stop popping shit up, laptop. I know I hadn't turned you on in a little bit, but damn. Good Lord, stop. Hey, Dark Mage. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Where I'm about ready to drop kick this laptop. It's had like 8 or 9 different little notification pops, just like, hey, you haven't turned me on in a couple days. Here's this. You haven't seen this in a few days. Look at this. Like, motherfucker, stop. Actually, I want to grab something real quick. Got a cool model I was working on the other day. Yeah, put it back in here. So, I have recently been working on my Tyranids. And I had originally thought about just keeping them with a very similar color scheme that I was running before. So kind of a brownish skin with a sandy carapace and a kind of just not super bright or anything like that. Stuff where it can't actually be seen 100%. So, yeah, this was the look that I was going for originally. Nothing outstanding. And after thinking about it, I was like, you know, it just looks kind of boring. Like, there's not a lot to it. Actually, let me turn on the side lights so it's even more apparent. But yeah, it's like, there's not a lot to it. It's a very simple model. And I was like, it just feels like it's missing something. So I started thinking, and I was like, you know, if I'm gonna change the carapace, I might as well go a bit further. So, this is what I came up with. I'm using a color shifting paint that shifts between electric blue and deep kind of a violet purple. Gave it a bone white skin. And this one I haven't started touching up the horns and claws and hoofs and stuff. But I got to thinking, I was like, wait, what about the wings? Because I have things like the parasite of Mortrix. And this one, I gave it kind of a orange-brown color for the claws. Then the actual wings themselves are a shifting paint between purple and reddish-brown. And it just fucking pops. Like, I am thoroughly pleased with how this thing turned out. That's actually one of the reasons why I didn't stream any painting on Friday, is because I have literally been spending every day the past couple weeks, or past couple days I should say, stripping paint off my old Tyranids. So that has been a chore and a half. I'll go there. I'll go over the top, and you can't really see the bronze too much from the outside, so I'll probably put some bronze on the underside of this so it kind of seeps up. Have one Tyranid with the exposed brains that I painted up this afternoon. That one, like, it has kind of a, like, light blue or a bright blue color for the base of the brain. And then it has a, whatchamacallit? I use a Verdigris Rust dry brush over the top of that, so it gives it these kind of like pale whitish green like high ridges. Then I used a wet gloss paint over the top of that, so it just has this perpetual like wet kind of look to it. It looks kind of unsettling, which is what I wanted. And Then I took Mosu Black with a liner pen and painted in all the crevices of the brain. So it has this kind of like brain floating in the skull look kind of thing. That one still has a lot of work to go to get it done, but that one's gonna be fun. I might go bronze for these top shoulder plates. I feel like that wouldn't fit right. But yeah, so Tyranids are getting a whole overhaul for my army, so that's going to be a pain in the balls, but it'll be fun. Especially since the iridescent paint I used for the shell, I really like this stuff. The problem is, you can't buy that paint on its own. It only comes in a 6-pack collection, and you only get 1 bottle of it. And I have a feeling I'm going to need like 5 or 6 bottles of it, and it's like $30 for 6 bottles. I'm like, oh, you dirty motherfuckers. I think there was one site that sells the paint on its own, and hilariously, they were selling it for like $16 a bottle. So it's like, okay, well, you're selling it for over half the price of the actual collection pack. Like, why would I buy it from you when I could literally just buy the collection and have some extra paint? You're clearly just buying it up yourself and reselling. Yeah, like, I understand in some cases, but, like, if you sell a paint, then you should be able to sell, like, that paint as either in a collection or on its own, not as one or the other. It should be both, an and. Give a very slight discount for the, like, collection. But if I want to run with a specific paint, I want to be able to just buy that paint. But oh well. I'll definitely say I wish I had noticed that before I actually decided I liked the color, because then it would be easier for me to actually try and look into going with something different. But now it's like, gee, I like this. Uh-oh. Of course I picked, like, the gold-crusted shit, huh? Well, here's my wallet. Don't give me more. It's all good. Stayed up way too damn late last night. Went down a lot of just like rabbit holes and research. Before I realized it was like 4:15, 4:20. Like, well, I should probably get some sleep. Been a while since I've done that. Not sleep, but the lose track of time on just random research. Okay, I like that. I think I'm gonna actually put bronze down the center of that. Yeah. Gives that a nice little extra depth to that. I like that. I know it'll definitely help me with the Tyranids is getting better with my airbrush. Because I have a lot of Hormigons and Termagants to paint. You enjoying that treat, Rue? Sound like you're tearing that thing up. Nice. Makes the shield kind of look a bit more, which I like. Okay. Hey, pup. Just love how much of a mess my thumbs end up after I'm done painting. It's like I could try and be more accurate, but this is faster. And it works pretty nice. No? Alright. Must not have been anything. Must have been the wind. Okay, I like that. I also just realized I haven't done anything with the weapon arm on this guy yet. That's gonna be fun. I haven't put any of the heraldry on the weapon. Bummer. Okay, gotta get to that. Probably too much gold, but meh. It's been dispensed. It's indispensable now. good. As boring as it gets to paint gold, I can't deny I do like how gold looks. Actually had a fun idea last night. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to execute it, but I have one of the Tyrannid models called Death Leaper. Really cool model. He's standing on this kind of platform in this like kind of, well, hyper predatory type pose. Let me grab him real quick. Got two things I was thinking about for it. Kind of was just a inspiration while looking at it. Yo, I don't have him fully affixed to his base or anything because he's got a lot of detail to put on here. Like, there's his base. Then he has this little platform thing here that he sits on. And he's standing on it in kind of this, like, cool, like, just stalkery, predatory type way. And I have some effect paint that basically is like this slimy gore. So what I was thinking was have him on his little platform here, and then from a different model kit, the Toxicrin comes with a dead Terminator. Well, I was using this as a decoration piece for another model, but what if I literally put the dead Terminator like on this guy's base, and this puts like the hole for his chest right beneath the claw. Maybe have like a strand of like gore running from the claw down, or maybe stranding the gore across from the Marine onto the platform. It's like some really cool options there. But then I had another thought. I had bought a lot of, off eBay, I got a lot of Sisters models, like Adeptus Sororitas. Well, I have a spare Saint Celestine. She needs some painting, but it's like with her pose here, I could literally have her like laying up against this in such a way that it's like she's on the platform like that beneath Death Leaper. Maybe have the wings like tore off And then she already has that kind of look like she's just broken almost. I think that would go really hard. So I'm thinking about that one because that's a really cool option. And kind of a diss to opponents if they play sisters. Could you imagine rocking up to your local game store to play a game and your opponent just so happens to have like one of the centerpiece units from your army as like a dead trophy on one of their models? Like that feels like that'd be a pretty, honestly, awesome jab at someone. Need to grab the blue paint. I moved that into the other room earlier while I was painting up brains. Which, I figure I might as well grab the head with the brains. The Norn Assimilator, or not Assimilator, but the Emissary. Emissary is the brain bug. That nice kind of shiny, wet look to it. Can't really get a good view of it from this angle, but I feel like it'll stand out nicely against the, like, electric blue and violet carapace. This is the Lance of Smurf Smiting. I think I'm gonna go with blue for the eyes. Because I already have the blue out. Might as well. Can't really see the eyes super well, but hey, they're blue. Trust me, they're blue. As are my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to try this. In worst case, I'll have to like strip it later. I was thinking about for this. Painting like fins blue, just a nice light coating of blue. I say light coating, or as I put down a huge coat on it. What I'm thinking here is I'm going to put this blue on this as the base. And then, once it dries, I'm going to take some PVA glue, smear it on, and then put this lighter blue and maybe white on top of it. That way it kind of cracks it apart and it creates these natural like streaks of like the dark blue underneath with like crackles of white and light blue on top. I think that could look cool. Worst case, I'll have to strip it off and then do it again. Best case, I can say fuck it and I'm done. Okay, got one more little spin to do. Of course, we don't have enough blue. But it should be fine. There we go. Okay, got a couple of blue points there. Now I can do some of the bluing on this. Okay, got that. Now I'll go ahead and start doing the gold trim on the little carriage piece here. Thought there would be more gold on this piece, but oh well. This is a knight, so I should be able to make this at least somewhat ridiculously ostentatious. Now we need a little bit of silver. Not much. Just noticed there's a couple spots that I'd missed the silvering. Doesn't really show up that well. But I'll still do it anyway. I start on one side, might as well do it on the other. Let's see here. So, this one will be going like this. So to keep the pattern, it should be red, red, black, black. Shouldn't need a lot of black for this. Black, yeah. Okay, so we want to come over to about that spot there. To about there. Yeah. Stand up. Yeah, that's kind of locked in that spot. Okay. So I see there are several people in here. Welcome in, welcome in. Just working on my Knight Lancer some. Yeah. Just a little bit of gold on the black. Oh well. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but still. I always like to try and get as little cleanup work as I have to do. Rue's behind me snoring up a storm. Love the little pup to death. She can be a little bit of a handful at times, but she's a good pup. Let's see here. Here's the red. I really do love this red over gold look. And I accidentally stumbled onto it while I was painting my custodies and was like, you know, I really like that. Missed that spot. Okay. I have that in here. Yeah, it's right back. Try just a small amount of this just for the test here. That brush. I think we'll just use this brush. See how this works. How this looks. It's on pretty thick. Definitely say I haven't tried this on a weapon, let alone a weapon this big. But I think this should work. Again, absolute worst case, I'll just use some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip and scrub this down and go with something very basic. No more. Argo. So essentially, if you want to know what I'm doing here, I am applying Elmer's School Glue, which is just PVA glue. Putting it on fairly thick. And then, now that I've got it on every part of the weapon surface, while it's still wet, I can lightly apply another paint on top of this. And then, when it dries fully, the top layer will crack and pull apart, creating lines and separations in it. I'm gonna just like very gently go over this with kind of light blue paint on top. Again, if it looks like ass, well, that's what rubbing alcohol is for. This was kind of just one of those ideas that popped into my head the other day, and I was like, you know, I don't know if it'll look good, because it may look horrible, but I at least want to try it. I have one thing I'm going to try before I finish up with this glue, though. I want to see what would happen if I just straight mixed paint into the glue and then just spread that on something. So if that works, that'd be even better. Okay, so that's going to take that a little while to dry, so I'm going to set this over here where it can fully sit out. Now, let's see here. I think I'll just use the underside of this base for the experiment here. That way it has a good contrasting color against the glue. So if that works, like, that would definitely make applying thinner crackle a lot easier. Because if I could literally have my crackle be like that, and then that just separates and breaks, that'd be great. So, that'll probably take a couple hours for that to fully dry. In fact, probably overnight even for it to get good. Okay. Exactly. What's up, Boya? Hopefully we'll get back to doing some raiding soon. Breaking WoW. How you breaking WoW? Ah, gotcha. They seem pretty cool. Couldn't blame you. Like, someone's got to show Lupus how to play. Honestly, I completely get that. Like, I was actually talking with Draper a little bit the other day. Like, I wish we had more competent battle rezzers in the guild, because I would love to try out some other tanks. But when it comes right down to it, like, I like to be able to heal. So it's like, okay, well, if I am going to be available to battle res, I have to either be Druid, Death Knight, or Paladin. And Paladin's cool, but they feel like they go from being immortal gods of tanking to being a floor tank in like half a second. And Death Knight, they feel so good in raid, but that's it. So part of me was actually thinking about trying out Demon Hunter tanking to see how that feels, but it doesn't look like they've changed much there. So, not sure. I'm probably gonna end up staying Druid, just to be honest, because I've been enjoying the Druid. The effect I'm trying to create with this weird, like, glue mix is basically getting this type of effect, where the glue will start separating away and creating these cool cracks through it. Then I can maybe highlight with some white lining or something. But yeah, like, I'm probably gonna go Druid, just to be honest. I may go Pally, depending on how they work. But don't know. I've never used this before, so I'm curious how this is gonna look. This is probably gonna stink to high hell. Whew, damn, that does stink. Yep. Yep. This is a streaking grime, where, like, put it on and whew. And most of my paints have very, very little odor. This stuff I've never used before, but oh, it is pungent. Am I gonna have to set this up in the fume hood if I'm gonna do this stuff? That is a bit much. Yeah, most of my paint's definitely not near that strong. That stuff is special. Oh, honestly, this could go really hard on my Death Guard. Now, another thing I'm needing to figure out is how I plan to get this piece here possibly magnetized up to it so I can actually take the top off without too much effort. You can see where it links up there. And along here, that goes there. I don't really want the magnets to be super visible, is part of the problem. Annoyingly, the magnets I have are not the smallest. Like, they're not big, but definitely a bit small. Or not. They're not as small as I'd like. It's like, I don't have any really good place to fix these. So, let me try some stuff. Might be able to do something like put one there. I could put two on top of each other or something, and that could fit. I could do like that. Does that actually fit down on top of that? It's not the best fit, but if I do the same on the other side, then that could work. Could do two there. Futzing with magnets is always the worst. Like, I enjoy working with them, but they're always a pain in the ass. Until you get them glued in place, little bastards just go where they want. Or like that, they just shoot off in the distance, and then you have magnets somewhere. There. Bastards. Exactly. Fucking yeet. That's what I want to see happen to Bunky. Okay. Hey, Rue. How you doing, pup? Yeah, don't you worry, pup. I'm just grabbing some accelerator. Glue. Super glue and super glue accelerator. Use that to help guide this. Make sure that it fits proper still. Yeah. Okay. Guess I should do the same on the other side. No, fuck it. I'm gonna make sure that this is set before I put any other magnets on this. And of course, immediately bonds on my fingers. Super fucking glue. And bound. I'll say that is one nice thing about super glue is if you use accelerator with it, that shit, like, it's instant. Little bastard magnets work with me. Work with me, damn it. Yeah, good. I was like, please say I didn't set that too high, right? Okay, that's pretty much perfect. Now, there. Accelerate. That was way too much accelerant, but hey, that's bound. Okay, so now if I were to do that. Glue that like that, maybe. But would that fit on the torso? Let's not knock over the glue. Thank you. Put that cap back on. Okay. That still fits. Everything's good there. Yep. Now, let's see if I can put something on top of this and still be able to close it. I can put that like there. That'd be pretty much perfect, but I don't know if that'll actually fit. Yeah, that. This is not a good fit, although it's not much of a change to the fit. If I could get it there. If I did it on both sides, then that would actually work out pretty decent, I think. Yeah, like, doesn't look too off. Can I roll this back just a little? Not like that. Other options. I could possibly use a Dremel to take out a bit of the like body here, and then glue the magnets on the underside of the carapace facing this way, so it can just sit into a little divot there. As whenever the lid is on, like, you sure as hell can't see that anyway. As I always hate destructive modification, but that might be the best way to do that. pretty sure... Yeah, that fits too high if I do that. Okay. See what I can do. Where did I put my Dremel? No, that's not Dremel. Did I actually put it away? That doesn't sound like me. Why the fuck would I put something away? Meh. I don't feel like looking for the Dremel. Like I do, but I don't. Fucking do it later. Yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to just drill out a spot or Dremel out a little well here for a magnet. That way I can put the magnet on the underside of this on each side and then have this hold itself in place. That way it's still removable, because for some reason they decided in their endless wisdom to put a very detailed pilot model inside of this. So you can have the pilot visible, but if you have it fully assembled, like, you can only see the pilot from the top, but then this fits over the top. So you can either have the little top hatch, which there's no way to permanently fix that without gluing it. So you could have that to where you could see in, which would give you a decent view. But then you have to worry about this getting lost. Or one of my thoughts was maybe gluing like fishing line to it, so it can't just go flying off and get lost. Or the other option is, like I'm thinking, magnetize the top carapace so I can just pull it off. Fun. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think that's good and ready to go on. Dang it. This one's not got enough left, so I need to grab my other bottle. Fun times. Love how Rue's just watching me every time I go past, just like, human, are you done with your computer yet? So judgy. Lethal side eye. As I always say, she's lucky she's cute. Okay. It's pretty good. This will just pop on here. We'll then go up here. Yeah. Good. Could probably go ahead and fix this. Not gonna do that yet. Mostly because I'm probably gonna end up taking off some of this streaking grime stuff. Though that's still not actually dry, so probably wipe some of it off. So that does give the gold kind of a nice tarnished look. And I've still got some time to wait for this. Although I can see the cracks are already starting to form in it. So that's good. This still drying, but we'll see if this cracks. Okay. Most of what I've got left here is just kind of waiting. So I may just call the stream a few minutes early. I think I might. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Figure out what I did with my Dremel and all that good shit. So, well, thank y'all for hanging out. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. And I will be streaming later tonight. Take care.